Yeah, and
All right.
let's do this. Let's keep it short.
We're live. We're live, everybody. It's Watch Us Trade Live. It's something Tuesday. What Tuesday is this, man? Watch and learn.
Yeah, Watch and Learn Tuesday. That's what we're calling
Watch
this,
and
right?
Learn Tuesday. That's right.
Yeah.
Folks, if you want to watch and learn, we got the two guys here. We have the one and only, the cowboy himself, the crypto cowboy, whose charting is so ridiculously awesome that other people steal it and post it everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the man who just goes by the name Frank. You know Frank. He's from the crypto school.
Frank.
He's also my cohort. And a bunch of
Cohort.
other things. Yes, a cohort. A cohort.
Cohort.
Yes.
Yeah, Watch and Learn Tuesday. The idea is we're going to look at 2 or 3 recent trades that went incredibly well, and we're going to dissect them and show you how we got there. So
awesome.
That's what this is, to show you how the magic happened. And these are recent, so sometimes they might even be a little bit relevant. We might be looking for a re-entry, something like that. We can't give away too much because people pay for that in the Watch Us Trade room at watchustrade.io is our new site. In fact, it's so new, I'm typing it in to make sure I said it right.
watchustrade.io. Is that the new sexy site, man?
That's the new delightful, beautiful. Yeah, watchustrade.io is our new site.
Or you can do WT, right?
Yeah,
whatever.
But they all go to the same place. They all go to the same place. And we've got currently up there, we've got 3 wonderful payment options. You could do our monthly for cash or Bitcoin. And then we have our 3-month subscription, which is Bitcoin only, comes with a massive discount. We have our 6-month subscription, which is lately has been our most popular, which is a 10% discount. I think you get almost 2 months for free when you do that one. So very, very good deal. People love the 6 months, especially. But if you want to come in and test the waters, we've got a 1 month. You could pay that with your debit card. I'm not sure.
Wait, so the new site can't take credit card payments as well?
Yeah, you could do a debit card for the 1 month payment. We don't take
for the 1 month payment.
We don't take credit card for the 3 and the 6 month plan. We just don't
got it.
We don't want to.
But for the 1 month, okay.
So, but if
that is it a recurring 1 month on the card or just that one?
Yeah,
that's
it
cool.
Is. And you can cancel anytime. It's 1 month, $2.99 a month.
Nice.
And $2.99 to spend a month watching these guys trade is well worth it. So check that out. And it is a new site. Like there's some text on there that talks about things that we're not even doing yet. But all you need to know is if you sign up, you'll get into the Watch Us Trade room and you're going to love it. So that's at watchustrade.io. We also want to ask people, before we get rolling with the show, we've got a new YouTube channel. The link is in the description of this show. We want to get that one going and eventually do our shows over there. We just need to get to 1,000 subs so that we can live stream. I think that's the requirement. So link in description for that. Please click on it and give us a sub. That's what helps on that channel. If you subscribe, that's what we need is subscribers. So we appreciate the help with that.
Wait, so that's already in the description box?
Is it? It will be.
I mean, click on the links, man. I mean, I can't see.
I'm not on our live video. I have to.
Ew. Sorry, right, don't worry about it. Just
my bad. All right, I'll send you a link to that new room so that it's up there momentarily. But yeah, it will be up there any second now. But we can get going here. We had this week was Z was saying this morning. Z's not on with us right now. He might be soon. But
he will be soon. Yeah, I just put I just posted the link, so I think he'll join us quickly. Oh no, right. He won't be around.
He won't be. Okay, no big deal. We've got Cowboy with us, and as Z was saying earlier in our little private chat, in terms of trades that were taken in the room this week, it really doesn't get better than what you guys did this week. It's been kind of ridiculous. And V, I'm sending you a text right now with that link that you need. So we're going to look at a couple, and it's funny because I missed this.
Already posted it.
Oh, thanks, bud. I remember watching this coin shoot up, and I was actually thinking like, oh man, I wish we'd gotten that in the room. And Nick actually told me we did. I just personally missed it. And that is, we had a call on Bitcoin Cash, which went bananas this week. In fact, there's 2 coins that went bananas this week. We were in both of them, plus a couple of other ones. So there were 2 huge movers this week. Anybody who, like me, likes to check coin market cap probably already knows the coins I'm talking about. One is Bitcoin Cash. The other is Ripple. And we did trades on both. And for those of you out there hate Ripple, we're not fans of it either, but we don't mind making money off of it. So no need to blast us in the comments. So Cowboy,
no ideology here, just pragmatism, folks.
Yeah, when it comes to trading, we just want to make money. So soulless money grubbers. So Cowboy, would you start out with that Bitcoin Cash call and maybe break that down for us? Let us know what you saw in that one. Though that one may have been primarily news related, correct?
Correct. Yeah, that's actually the 3 or 4 big winners that we had were called by Crypto Nekos. And Crypto Nekos is somebody who is really quick on the draw with getting the news.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, I've seen his computer. I've worked with him in person. There are like 28 different news feeds coming in all the time, like alarms are going off.
Yeah.
And so on all these coins, he said, okay, you know, there's the fork. I'm getting in now. And it had popped up a little bit, but I mean, I'd say the room was able to watch us get something like 70 or 80% of the gains, which are still going.
We're looking at it right now on your screen.
Yeah, let me make the screen bigger here.
Where did you guys get in there? Do you know?
We got in, like, let me draw a box. And this is from memory.
This is the 4-hour chart.
Yeah, so for those who might be new to trading, each of these bars represents 4 hours of price movement in Bitcoin Cash. And I believe the call was made like right there.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it instantly went up to, I mean, this is 4 hours. So it took within a day to get all the way up to here. So within that first pop, you know, he was like, hey, get in, you know, he didn't tell anybody else to get in, but he told me to get in. And I'm like, all right, cool, I'm in.
But also, and just to let people understand what happens in the Watch Us Trade room. So we say Watch Us Trade, but really, folks, it's a chat room. Okay, it's text. Every once in a while, someone thinks they're going to get to watch you guys at your computers in your underwear make trades. You don't want to see that. What you want is the information, and the information they give. They'll say, "Here's the coin. It's trading on usually Binance," but they tell you anyway. And we're watching what they do. They're not telling us to do this, but you can look at their research and make your own decisions. So they're saying, here's the coin. Here's where we want to be buying it. And so they'll give you a price range of where they're buying it. They'll say, here's where we expect it's going to go. Like, here's 3 stops where we would start taking profit. We'll take profit when it goes to this number, this number, this number. Or they'll just do what we call a trailing stop loss, meaning as it goes up, they're going to move their stop loss up so that if it sinks back down, they'll be in profit. So they give you that information. A lot of times they'll show you a chart that they've marked up, like the one that Cowboy's working on right now. And sometimes give you some reasons. For example, a call like this, I'm sure Z probably said there's a fork coming, get ready, and give you some reasons for the trade. So that's the kind of thing that we see all the time. And then not only are they going to be updating people on that, if there's information that needs to be added to that, they're going to be taking questions inside our chat room from people who have questions about this trade, as well as tons of others. We have a channel where people just request charts all day. They say, I want to know what's going on with Litecoin. I want to know what's going on with Bitcoin. I want to know what's going on with that. And the guys are very responsive to that as well. So that's the heart of what goes on in Watch Us Trade. It's not just a broadcast channel where these guys say, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's also very, very interactive. So there's a lot of benefit from there. And that's what you can become a part of when you go to watchustrade.io, watchustrade.io. So go ahead, Cowboy. Tell us a little bit more if you have anything else to say about this Bitcoin Cash trade. Otherwise, we'll go on to the next one.
Well, so the way I'm treating it is it's really hard when you see such a hard up like this, known as FOMO. And so once FOMO ends, you get these kinds of these big dips.
Yeah.
So FOMO, for those new to this world, means fear of missing out. So the way I'll treat this is just from a pure metrics standpoint, it's just really never wise to try and even chart FOMO. Okay, so what I'm doing is like has a 20% probability or less of being correct, and I'm just kind of making that number up. But I think it has a better probability than any other charting, aside from maybe looking at supports and resistances. So in the interest of time, what I'll take a look at is this flag and supports and resistances. I think that if I were to choose a top, which is really a dumb thing to do, the way I'm going to treat this is trailing stop losses, by the way. So as the price rises, I'll move my stop loss up, and I'll do it in a certain special way that everybody gets to see at the Watch Us Trade, because there's a way to do it and there's no way not to do it. But if I were to call like a place where I think it might stop, I would look for a place where a lot of trading happened. This line right there might be it, but I think more likely we might see a little more resistance in this area right there before we, it's really
Also, with a trade like this, wouldn't you just be looking at the clock too, since it's has so much to do with the fork that's coming up?
absolutely, yeah. That's probably the most important thing. The 15th is the big day, although
So we still got time.
we got some time, but usually like the most of your action is going to happen at the beginning
Okay.
with these types of things. So I mean, forks are a little bit unpredictable, but I can guarantee you this: when I see resistance, I'm selling. Period. Like if I see a lot of resistance, like I mean, and there's a way to know what that is, and we talk about that over in the room. So I have a few different reasons I would sell, but as we get closer to the 15th, then my finger is much more on the trigger to sell out of this thing.
Right. Okay. Cool.
And
Very,
another
very
thing,
cool.
to answer a little bit more, I take a little profit on the way too.
Okay.
Little bits here and there. I'll
Just
just
here and there.
sell pieces.
Yeah, there's how like I was in the I haven't been extremely active lately, just been busy, but I was in on the Ripple trade and very helpful yesterday. Z talked about taking profit, and so I thought if Z's taking profit, I'm going to go do some research and see if maybe I'm going to take profit. That was very fast research, and I in fact did that. So that's the kind of stuff that these guys are constantly sharing. So we don't want to take too much time today. We have 3 other recent calls for you to choose from. You want to pick 1 or 2? We got the Stellar Lumens was a recent call that went really well.
Yeah.
ADA and the Ripple. So whichever one's most exciting for you.
I'll go with Stellar because that is. I'm trying to. I usually just kind of depend on Z for news, which is probably not the wise. I mean, it's a wise.
It's helpful.
Z. That's if I was going to depend on somebody, it probably would be Z, and it is. But I probably should be doing a little more of that research myself. But that said, I believe XLM is already added to Coinbase, or will be soon, or there's been some kind of confirmation. The speculation's been big, and so when Bitcoin Cash fork happened, Z has pointed out, actually, there was about a month ago or less where we were on JSnip's show, and people asked me what coin I was interested in, and I said it was Basic Attention Token, and it went up. I don't know. I think it doubled or something within like a week or two, and that's because of a Coinbase listing potential, which that I believe it happened. The next in line are Stellar Lumens, XLM, and ADA. So the big winners that we had on the last 5 or 6 days, they have to do with fundamentals more than they have to do with technicals, which is CryptoZ's CryptoNeco's specialty, which he's a great technical trader, not to take away from that, but his fundamentals are hard to match. And so he was saying that with like the Basic Attention Token pumps that happened, people were pulling money out of that, and for the same reason we're putting it into the next in line potentials, which were Stellar Lumens and ADA, to name a couple. And so we'll talk about those too. And that's what CryptoZ told me he was getting into. I'm going to get into Stellar Lumens. And a lot of people did some research, and the research turned out to match CryptoZ's, I'm assuming, because a lot of people in the room got in, and they're just making a lot of profits. I want to say this area down here, or maybe even down in this area, is where people sort of got in, and it just shot up. So you're looking at I don't know, is that 10, 20% gain? Massive gains on that. And then the same thing with ADA. Just not like interchange the letters ADA with XLM, and you got the same story.
Yeah, cool. A couple questions in the chat. You want to take them?
Sure.
We've got Gerson is asking, BCH still a good entry point? Or is there a good entry? I know you don't want to FOMO. I'm thinking that's what you're going to say.
Well, so if this was like December of 2017, and like somebody breathes a coin's name on Twitter and it goes up 98%, then yeah, I might enter Bitcoin Cash at this point. I personally don't like to chase anything that's past, say, like 15%. And the reason that I'm actually a successful trader is because I have rules that I follow, and I follow those rules about every time. Now those rules do get adjusted depending on what type of market that we are in. The reality is that we're just on what I believe to be the tail end of a bear market. I am not convinced that we're out of the bear market. I'm convinced that it's coming.
Mhm.
However, we're not in a bull market, so I'm not going to chase anything past a 15% pump.
Okay. Not to say it couldn't go up a lot more. It's just not a very safe move from your perspective.
Well, yeah, it's just so so there's a thing about when traders. A professional trader has rules that they follow. Period.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and I miss out on all kinds of profits for that. I also miss out on all kinds of losses.
Yeah, that's the key.
So
Yeah. Very good. One other question. You can answer this one quick. What do you guys think of BTG? Is that Bitcoin Gold?
Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin
That's
Private.
what BTG is, right? BTG.
Yeah, there's a few like Bitcoin forks that happened last year, and they tend to succeed or follow a Bitcoin, like original Bitcoin pump. So yeah, we've had a little rise in Bitcoin over the past week or two. There hasn't been much action there. I mean, yeah, sure, it could pump, but those other coins don't really have like a whole lot of fundamentals or any reason that I would get into them that's non-technical.
Yeah. Yeah, very helpful. So it's kind of it's a gamble. You're gambling at that point.
Yeah, and I'm not a gambler. I'm a trader. It's a big difference.
Yeah. Let's take one more. Jamie's asking about Digibyte. Good, bad, long term. Any thoughts on Digibyte?
Well, from a technical aspect, it's good. It is losing some of its steam, and we've talked about excuse me, we've talked about this on the show like a number of times. But to look at Digibyte from the long perspective, let me take away this pitch fan. It's rising in comparison to Bitcoin over time. The setting trend lines are kind of reducing. They're not having the same pizzazz they used to, which tells me that the bullishness is decreasing. But you know what? Compared to like most cryptos out there, Digibyte's a freaking star. I mean, it has lasted and stayed strong this long in one of the worst markets there has been. So I'd say that the feature of Digibyte is Digibright.
What's that?
That's so terrible. I can't believe I said that.
Oh, the future is Digibright. Wow.
Yeah, that's bad.
You're hurting me with that. I feel physical pain.
It's bad joke. Fundamentally, I don't know about Digibyte, but what I will say is a lot of people are shilling it right now.
Okay.
I think Digibyte started as like I want to say it was the one that started as payment for what do you call it, Minecraft or something like that.
Oh, yeah?
Like it was a video game payment deal. It's had strength over time, and I think there's a good chance that it'll do well. I just don't know enough about it.
It's one of those coins. It's kind of like Litecoin where people have it like an allegiance to it. They're really excited about it. They think it's going to do great.
Well, and it's unlike
it's fine.
Well, and you are correct. Absolutely, what you just said is correct.
I just mean in terms of I guess you would say the essay, the sentiment analysis.
No, you're spot on.
Yeah, there's a crew out there that just loves it.
You're spot on with that. And what's different about Litecoin is that it's like not as cruddy of a technology as Litecoin.
It's not as what?
Not as bad of a tech. Like,
oh, really? Okay.
Litecoin in its time was great. It's just that Litecoin's time has passed.
Mm-hmm.
It has too much competition out there. The fundamentals of Litecoin. The only thing that'll keep Litecoin alive is a change in their tech and or a really, really good partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Though that'll bring Litecoin way to the moon. But
yeah.
until those things happen, my money's not in it.
Yeah, there was a something to do with Facebook payments that was posted last week. I'm in some Litecoin group on Facebook or something like that, and they were touting it as Litecoin is the first crypto on Facebook, but basically what it had to do with is some wallet that you could send people Litecoin through Facebook Messenger or something like that. So it wasn't like, I don't know. It's the kind of thing that is neat, but I don't know if it changes the world, right? So
yeah, I mean, and a lot of those things you have to be careful when listening to that kind of stuff. Do your own research, verify whether or not
these guys were like, this is it, moon time. And it's like, I just keep hearing stories like that. And it's funny. We started to see this last year where all of a sudden news didn't really do that much, so, someone, 2020 Cool Cat, who I believe is part of our room. I recognize that name. Yeah. He said, I wish I knew about you guys this time last year. That was when you were talking about 2017. And I said, me too. Could have saved a lot of us a lot of trouble had we been watching you guys trade back then. So, but hey,
I remember
just imagine, folks, the Watchers Trade Room. and those of you who've been in it, just think this: those of you who've learned so much and seen so much and benefited so much, it's only existed in a brutal bear market. So I cannot wait to see what happens when we're in that when we're in that bull market. It's going to be so exciting. Some of the other rooms we saw that people were hysterical about with excitement because every little call was so great all the time. You know, you could sort of throw mud at a list of coins and pick whatever the mud landed on, and you'd make money the next week because the market was roaring so much. Imagine what real technical analysis in the inside of these guys is going to be like in a true bull market. I can't wait to see it. So, hey man, anything else you want to do? Oh, can we do a quick look at the big mama or daddy Bitcoin, and then we'll call it a day. Just a quick look at it, if you don't mind.
Of course. They say, well, I think it was Vitalik who says that Ethereum is the mother of most coins. And
okay.
Definitely the father. So
I don't want to contradict Vitalik on that.
I wouldn't. Vitalik is like, yeah, the guy's really smart. So with Bitcoin, this is the daily. This is looking back about a year. And what we're seeing is a poke above some of the most important downtrend lines. And that is a clue that the bear market could be ending. Although I'm not entirely convinced until we poke up past 7,400. First, we have to poke up past 6,800 and we have to stay there. I'm going to put some lines, excuse me, and then I'm going to zoom in. My voice is a little funky, everybody. I'm sorry. It's actually more funky than usual. So we can see here when the tether thing happened, that there was this tether FUD essentially caused a lot of people to sell their tether, and a lot of them went into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin shot up. On Coinbase, which is, you know, where the tether price affected everything the least, which is kind of more of a real market in a sense. It stopped at 6,800. Even that hard up couldn't get past 6,800 on Coinbase, which is where people actually purchased Bitcoin with fiat money. So that's a really, really important mark. And if we could get past 6,800, I'm going to be like, okay, we're really having a chance of being neutral. If we can get past 7,400, I'm going to be like, okay, now we're starting to look on the bullish side. And, you know, that could take months. We might not see that until we might see it 2 weeks from now. We might not see it 2 months from now. I mean, there's no way to really know how it's going to happen. Right now, we are seeing a little bit of strength. And to very briefly look at the 4 hour, I did a pretty, not that complex of a chart, but I pretty much predicted this, what we're seeing right now. I think that there's a possibility. What is happening right now is if you look at the longs and the shorts, I have a chart for that. I could chart it out, but I think that's not what we need to do here on the show. What there is to know is that the longs are a bit higher than the shorts right now on Bitfinex, which is a decent way to measure that. I'm going to say they are 1, 2, 3 times 4, 10, maybe 12%. So we're looking at like 62, 38. I mean, the longs are pretty healthy right now. I think what's happening is these little moves up are sponsored and they're pumping it up so that people will have longs. And when people have longs, for those who understand what a long is, it's a leveraged bet in a market. Usually there is a stop loss, which means that the stop losses are probably down in this area. And when you have a bunch of longs with stop losses, then that is a liquidity pool. These are a bunch of orders that market makers have access to. And the bigger this pool is, the more things they can do with the market without really getting too complex, right? So the higher this goes in the like kind of a healthy looking manner, then the more that this liquidity pool is going to build up. And the thicker and heavier this liquidity pool gets, the more likely we're going to see market makers force it down. So I think that what's going to happen is we might run up to 65, maybe 6,600. And so far, the chart that I made 2-3 days ago is Sunday nights when I did the analysis. I even I did a chart of the longs and the shorts, and I studied it for the last few weeks, whatever. I think very simply, we're going to run up, maybe even have a quick little wick, and then run down. and I think we'll probably fall down to maybe the 6100 range, something like that. And then once it gets down here, I think we'll trade sideways for a little bit. Hopefully, we would go along this magenta line, which is a bit of a midterm, possibly even a long term, but more of a midterm trend line. So that's the look that I see. It doesn't necessarily go that way. You know, everything we say is all for entertainment purposes. None of it is financial advice. Do your own research. Consult a licensed financial professional before trading. Trading is dangerous and risky. So that's what I think.
Very cool. So, folks, you know, what you get here is very helpful. You hear these little tidbits about what's going on in his head, but I can assure you, from personal experience, that everything you hear on these shows is tip of the iceberg. These guys are very, very careful not to give things away for free that other people are paying for, out of respect for the people who are paying. It's not because they're misers. They would love to tell you everything, but we protect that information out of respect for people who pay to watch us trade at watchustrade.io. So if you want to hear every thought and very specific predictions that come to you in an extremely timely manner so that you can be entertained by that, you need to go to watchustrade.io and get into our room. And, you know, Z and Cowboy both yesterday on our last show, when I was going roboto, were saying some very helpful things. And there's a reason we recommend 3 and 6 month subscriptions. We actually don't make as much money off of those subscriptions, but we think they're very, very helpful for people because it takes a little while to get acclimated. And so being in a room for 3 or 4 weeks is good. It's great. We recommend you doing it if that's all you can afford. But we highly recommend, if you're serious about trading, you want to see what these guys do on a day-to-day basis. You want to be there for the dead weeks and the on fire weeks, like the one we had last week. And those are things that are out of our control. But sometimes the dead weeks being in there are actually the most helpful, because those are the times when you're tempted to start moving stuff around and get some action moving. And that's when you really need the wisdom of someone like Cowboy and Z, who are saying, you know what, we're not doing anything today. We're looking at Bitcoin. We're not seeing anything. We're not gonna just be trading out of boredom. We're not going to FOMO into things that have already taken off. We're not going to speculate just for the fun of it. They're just as useful, if not more useful, on those weeks when you should really be just sitting on your hands and sitting in Tether or something like that, or TUSD. They're just as helpful in those weeks as they are in these weeks when things are popping off left and right. So if you're serious about learning, if you're serious about that kind of entertainment, please go to watchustrade.io. And I'd recommend, if you're really skeptical, try us out for a month. If you're really serious about it, you know you want to do some trading, go for that 3 month or 6 month. You won't regret it, and it'll give you the time to really learn and see what's going on in there, with the various ups and downs of the market.
Frank, can I add something about that?
Please.
With the trading world, what we've seen is, just like when you see a coin go up, a lot of people will buy after it goes up, and then it kind of goes up a little bit more and falls, and then a lot of those people lose money. It's a term called FOMO, fear of missing out. There's also, selling FOMO, if you will. It's people who are panic selling. The price goes down, 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 and then they sell right at the bottom, and then the price goes back up. Well, it's a similar thing about the entertainment that we provide in the room. What I've noticed is the market will take a hit and people will not be entertained anymore and they'll leave. And then what happens with us who are like watching the market, we know that the bottom comes before the rise. So because we're there for the bottom and we're able to sort of tell where the bottom is, because this is what we do for a living, we actually get in and then we experience the rise from the bottom. And then all of a sudden, we're 3/4 of the way done with the rise. Everybody FOMOs back in. They come in to be entertained by us, and they catch it just a little bit too late. So, I know Nico said it, Frank, you just said it. And the reality is that at least 3 months will be a good way to see a true cycle of entertainment and to have the opportunity to be entertained by seeing us get in at the bottom of things. So, 1 month, there's a really good chance that that's not enough time to really see how things go. And on top of that, there's a lot of lingo to learn. Frank and I have made some videos personally. People in the room are very helpful. So yeah, that's why the 3 month membership plus a discount is really valuable.
Yeah. Yep. Very helpful. That's it. We're good. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah. And it's,
that
by the
being
way,
said, guys.
I'm sorry, V. The last thing I'll say is it's my honor to have people in that room. I mean, it's really, I'm
Absolutely.
thankful for everybody in there. So everybody know that. It's my last thing to say, guys.
Coolio.
Absolutely. And with that being said, guys, we are over and out.